Ho there! I am Nathan Burbage Sinclaire. Welcome, ho, to my onlineactingclass.co.uk. Today we will strip down auditions, how to being the way forward. I'm a veteran of teaching auditions and indeed auditioning when I too was an actor before I realised that the best place for me was in the stalls and behind the camera, watching, analysing and suggesting and cajoling and educating. From the Latin educere, to lead out from, rather than imposare, to impose. So, when I'm speaking of auditions, I'm here speaking of theatre auditions for a play. We shall look at musicals and TV and film casting or interviews in another online acting class. So, theatre auditions. Now, these are desperately important, obviously. If you don't ever get through any of these, you never work. Unless you're one of those lucky bastards who has a friend who phones up and says, "Hey, want to be in a play I'm making?" Which can occasionally happen. It's really annoying. It's akin to talent shows on TV where someone is raised to stardom when there are thousands of proper, hard-working actors and performers like yourselves who are never given the chance. It makes me sick. Anyway, that was a little digression. So, auditions. So, you need to get good at these. Here are some tips. First of all, make sure you have a piece learnt. A script you've taken in by heart. I know that this sounds over-obvious, but the auditioners need to see and hear what you can do. Choose an appropriate piece. My favourite Shakespeare is The Bastard from King John. But if you have something slightly more obscure, then go for it. Auditioners get to hear the same pieces over and over again. It can be so boring. Some instances, if you're the fourth person that day doing Hamlet's, "Oh, that there's Toto, solid flesh," etc., etc., well, they'll probably not bother to listen to you, even though you may be very good. So, you learn your piece, and when I say learn, I mean learn. You should know it even if someone came up behind you, hit you over the head with a tray, or someone steps in your foot, for example. Here is my assistant, Mr. Ranieri, who will attempt to distract me while I'm doing my speech, Mr. Ranieri. It's from the Scottish play, beginning with an M and ending in F. I'm not saying the name, as that will invoke the theatre demons, and we don't want that, do we? Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way of dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor play that struts and fetches hour upon the stage, and that is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Mr. Ranieri, thank you so much. You see? Thank you, thank you. I didn't flinch. You need to know it as well as that. If you have difficulty learning, well, I would suggest you try another career. In fact, I would discuss learning a script in another, the online acting class, with me, Nathan Burbage Sinclaire. So, if you do forget your speech, the auditioners will mark you down as someone who forgets. That would make you an unlikely candidate for employment. Remember, it is useless coming in and just standing there will lead to embarrassment if you're forced to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten it." This sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people I've seen just turn up and strike a series of freaked out, forgotten my lines, poses and mouth like a goldfish. Having said that, a series of poses might just do the trick if you're playing a deaf mute who does not speak and just poses. But there are few deaf mutes that I know of in theatre, unless, of course, you really are a deaf mute, and I don't wish to be deaf mutist, but then, why would you be up for Hamlet? Secondly, have a gimmick. A gimmick can get you spotted. Here's an idea I've used to great effect. Come into the audition with food. No, go with me on this one. Small food, like an apple or an orange, use that to punctuate your piece. The great actor Donald Pleasance played the devil in The Greatest Story Ever Told, and Thomas More in Man for All Seasons. Google him, watch him acting, a great eater, always eating to punctuate his characters. Small food, easily hidden in a pocket. A banana works for a more erotic piece. However, I would not recommend you come in with a Big Mac and scoff it while doing your piece unless you've worked out exactly how this can increase the possibility of your being chosen. You will look real, I admit, and modern of the moment. Yes, all good thoughts, but the auditioners may hate the smell and not cast you for that reason, or maybe vegetarian. You must be one step ahead of them. On the other hand, they may hate you for not bringing in any for them, so it could lead to not being asked back or recalled through not sharing. Then again, some may think you're just a complete dick. Now, that's a chance you have to take. So when I say food, I mean subtle food. I mean a bag of a bag of nuts or a confectionery bar, a small piece of cheese. A yoghurt's not a good idea, though small you have to use a spoon, it can get messy, but food can enhance a performance and make you stand out for the crowd. I've been asked whether fluid is as good. Yes, it is good. A small bottle of water would be perfect. Can of beer might give the wrong impression unless the character is the sort who would drink beer, but then it doesn't have the chewy nature of food that stays in the mouth. In some instances can be spat emphatically out to make a point. I will demonstrate. Here are the nuts. Here is some fruit. See how the smaller food is more likely to help your character. Oh, just too solid, fresh with before. Was always so. It's like you. Right. The larger food is not helping, though tasty. Now, thirdly, remember to speak clearly and audibly. You'll be surprised how many people just mumble their way through an audition. Fine if the part is a mumbler, useless if it's not. Let's see what mumbling achieves. Let's hear a loud, clear voice, okay? Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted falls the way of dusty death. Now we'll try mumbling. Tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, all our yesterdays have lighted falls the way of dusty death. You said the unmumbled one inspires confidence, doesn't it? Vocally suit the action to the word and the word to the action, as the bard of Avon himself says. If you have a speech requiring shouting, then shout. Needs an accent, give it the accent. Don't hide behind the accent. Don't make it all accent. I deal with accents in a different part of my online acting class. Above all, be confident to get across to those watching that, yes, you can do the part. Wearing a t-shirt with "Choose Me" on it is perhaps trying too hard. So this has been the first part of auditioning. In the second part, we will discuss other important issues like whether you should wear a hat or not.